Good morning, Wildcats. We are here for another Taco Tuesday. It is 11:10, the day before Veterans Day. So we're going to start off with a few good things. Welcome, everybody, this morning. Let's go around and do introductions. Stan, would you start us off?
Hi, I'm Stan Ruffs, principal at Skelly Elementary.
Julie.
Good morning. I'm Julie Jensen, Executive Director of Curriculum.
And Doug.
Good morning. Doug Jensen, Executive Director of Technology.
And Susan.
Hi, I'm Susan Holthouse. I'm the principal at Grandview Elementary.
Bruce.
Bruce Falling, principal, El Dorado High School.
And Carla.
Carla King, principal at El Dorado Middle School.
And last but not least, Chad.
Chad Sheets, principal at Blackmore Elementary.
And I just went around my Zoom pictures there. So good morning, everybody. Let's start off with some good things. Anybody got anything great going on in their buildings? Because I know you do.
Yesterday at Blackmore, we celebrated character trait of fairness. And so we had kids from each class that were given a character award yesterday, and we got to celebrate them with a little popsicle party. So that was really fun. So I have pictures of that, but I'll share them later. So there you go.
That's awesome.
At Grandview, as a Choose to Be Nice school, we're taking our new banner around and having all the students sign their banner that they're choosing to be nice, and then we'll get that posted over the old banner. We gave the kids big markers this time so they could write their names big, since we can't have parents sign it this year, so it's looking beautiful. We'll get that up soon.
Oh, awesome. That's awesome. Stan, what's happened over at Skelly? Oh, hold on. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. We're just continuing to chug along. We've got our student leadership team up and running. We're meeting with 3 kids at a time. Mrs. Weber has taken that over, and they did some things for our pennies by the pound and things. So they're up and running and going.
Awesome. All right. Well, way to go. Anybody else?
Just tomorrow's Veterans Day, so we'll be having a Spirit Day. Stuco sponsoring that at the middle school tomorrow. So hopefully everyone remembers to wear their red, white, and blue.
Yay. All righty. Bruce, anything at the high school?
Well, it's buffer week, so we're kind of low key this week. But we did have we also had our Stuco finished up their penny wars last week. I don't have a total for us, but they raised money for the United Way for that last week.
Way to go. All right, giving back. That's awesome. I will say I'd like to give a shout out to all of our fall sports teams. Let's see, we had girls tennis, we had soccer playing, we had cross country, volleyball, and football. I really appreciate everything the kids did. The coaches went above and beyond. We had some record-setting seasons, so that was pretty cool to see. And I want to also do a shout out to our band. I know that even with the 4x4 schedule at the high school, those kids came back and helped support the football team and were a part of the Spirit group. So huge shout out to all of our athletes and our musicians that really brought that Wildcat pride to the field and to the court. So congratulations to everybody this season. And I have a couple things I want to hit on. One of them was one of the first questions. Again, for all of those of you that are watching, feel free to put questions in the chat or the Q&A, the question and answer section, and we'll be happy to get to those. I want to talk first. There was one question in the comments, questions, and kudos, and it's a really good one. Do we still have to do the learning logs? Any of the principals want to talk about that? If not, we can talk about that. Okay, we'll just talk about that. The answer to that is no. As long as you have signed the assurance form, you do not have to do the learning log. There are a couple of situations the learning log is still available if a parent wants to make that commitment, and that's the communication tool they want to use. But remember, the State Department realized that those learning logs were a little bit daunting. There's quite a bit involved in using them. And so they kind of moved those to the side a little bit. It's still there as a tool if we want to use it, but we don't have to. So as long as you have that assurance form signed with your school district or with your building, you do not have to do a learning log. So that's a big woohoo, I believe, because it was kind of a long task to do the learning logs every day. So that was a very good question. So that one's a no, check that off the list. Right now, we put EMS on Monday. We put EMS into remote learning due to sub shortage for Monday and Tuesday. We said we would make that decision today. We'll have that decision out by 1 o'clock today. This morning, still, we're going to meet with the gating team one more time this morning before we make that final decision. Our numbers are increasing. I think one of the things you have to understand is there's a couple of different things at play. We kind of explained some of that last week. I'm going to bring Kathy over. She's in the other room, if you will. One of the things we talked about is how that gating team and all the data that they use to kind of make that decision. We also have to look at staffing issues and where we are with staffing. Do we have enough subs to cover? And keep in mind, when we have a positive case, the contact tracing that goes with that also can impact and put other people in quarantine, which can also affect staffing pieces. So it is our job to look at where we are as a district, make sure our kids are safe and that our staff is safe and that we have enough staff to cover and keep the kids safe when they're in the building. So we are doing our very best because we know how important it is to have our kids in our building, and that's exactly where we want them to be. And we appreciate all this help and support. We only have them from 8 to 3 every day, or 7 to 3. And so what happens outside of that time is also just as important. So we appreciate everybody. You'll see in the news this morning that there are a lot of school districts that have gone remote for different times with different grade levels, everywhere from their entire pre-K through 12 to the going extended periods of time like through January on remote. Our goal is to try to not make that happen here. We want to keep our kids in the building as much as possible. We have great staff and great classrooms, and we want them here with us. So our goal is to make decisions hopefully in shorter chunks of time so that we can keep our kids in school. So questions, thoughts? Did I miss anything on that, anybody? They're all okay, good deal. All right, the other thing I thought we'd talk a little bit about has nothing to do with COVID. Yay, okay, everybody's excited, woo! Because there's a whole other thing like teaching and learning that we do every single day as a school. So as a school district and a school system. So I want to take just a minute and talk a little bit about, and I'm going to share my screen here and talk a little bit about what the board has been working on and our district has been working on our strategic plan. So can you see that? Everybody can see it up there? Okay, you can see page 2. So let's go back to page 1. Or actually, let me do it this. Okay, so this is still a work in progress, and it's gonna go too fast. Okay, so we are still working on our vision statements and value statements. We're gonna finish this up at the end of the month, but I kind of wanted you to have a look at what our big goal areas are. What are the big 4 rocks? We had 2 groups of meetings back in the summertime, I believe is when it was. We brought in community members and business members and parents to sit down and talk about what do we want in El Dorado schools. And there were some themes that came out of that. From those themes, we took that information and kind of built our plan around that so far. So the first goal area really looks at teaching and learning. What is it that we want in the educational programs that we offer our students here in El Dorado? You can read the statement there that will advance student-centered learning opportunities so they graduate with strong academic and technical innovation skills for those career and lifelong goals. So in that area, we're looking at instruction, curriculum, assessment, professional learning for our staff, and instructional technology. In goal area 2, it's going to be fussy, I'm going to have to be touchy, is looking at responsive culture and supports. So what supports do we have? Social emotional supports for our students, looking at our district culture. So those critical strategy areas include district culture and behavioral supports. It includes extracurricular opportunities for our kids, looking at wraparound family and student support, including academic supports, whether that's multi-tier systems of support, social emotional supports, family supports, so we can develop that whole child. And the last critical strategy in that area is safety and security. So making sure that our schools are safe and secure for students and staff so that we can take care of our kiddos. And then goal area 3 is a positive climate, because that's important. We want to advance that positive image of the excellence that's happening in El Dorado schools every day. We want to talk about innovation, community connections, having those partnerships in place. I have never seen the kind of great support that we have in our community. It is outstanding. So we need to highlight that and continue to foster that. Family engagement, having those partnerships with our families, communication frameworks so that there is input and communication back and forth between all of our stakeholder groups. And then last but not least, so that's kind of looking at the district as a whole, but last but not least is you have to have strong fiscal and resource management. I'm a huge believer in taking care of the financial resources that our community and our taxpayers give us. I think we need to be good stewards of taxpayer money. That's important in today's day and age. So this really looks at keeping an eye on our budget and making sure we make those strong fiscal decisions. The first part of that is recruiting and retaining high quality staff. We want the best people in our classrooms and in our buildings. Facilities and infrastructure, we have some amazing buildings that our community has graciously supported. And so we want to make sure that we continue to take care of them, make them as beautiful as they really are and keep them as beautiful as they are. And then last but not least is finance opportunities and finding that growth potential. So the board is working on this. It's a work in progress. We're going to work on some community, our belief statements. What are some of the things that we all kind of believe collectively? And so we're going to work on that and finish that up hopefully at the 5th board meeting. Any comments, questions from anybody in our group? Did I miss any pieces? Because you have all been part of that. Stan, did I get it all? Good job, Teresa. Okay, so any questions out there? Have we answered everything today? I know it's kind of short and sweet today. I don't see any questions in the chat or the Q&A, so I will go ahead and give us our launch today. We'll make it nice and short. And this is really in honor of our veterans for tomorrow, because tomorrow is Veterans Day. So the quote is from Emma Donahue. It is, "Scared is what you're feeling, brave is what you're doing." And we thank all those people who have been brave over the years and our veterans that have supported our Constitution and our communities. So thank you. Have a great afternoon. See y'all later. Bye.